Hello and welcome back to Football Manager. We are going to be playing Tottenham and Bournemouth today. I know I said other teams. I generally can't remember which teams I said, but I thought it'd be better to do these two games because it then closes out the year fully in terms of it being 2023 moving on to 2024. But it also means that there's one home game, one away game, and it's on TV as well, which I think in my head sounds better. Yeah, I don't know either. And then the next video obviously will be in January, probably for Watford and Bournemouth, unless we get to the fourth round, then it'll be the fourth round and the game prior. Because it just makes more sense doing it the game prior than the game after in case it's, after Bournemouth, for instance. But yes, going back to this, the last game you saw was Brentford, and yeah, 2 defeats, but there's also been 2 defeats in the game since. And so far I've managed to pick up 10 points from 12. I'll get there in the end. 10 points in 6 games, which isn't that bad in all things considered. And being 10th in the Premier League in your first season for 30 odd years, I think that's fairly good. Brentford have bucked the trend of what I was saying was going to happen. I said that it was going to be Brentford and myself being the ones at risk of relegation, and Brighton being safe in the mid-table. It appears that it's actually reversed completely. So what can you do? In our game today against Tottenham, there is a player who is suspended, Glazen. That's annoying, but we can swap out Mark Albrighton for that, so that's fine to an extent. And then Glazen will be swapped out of the actual full team entirely for Emre Moore. Obviously, because he's the only other right midfielder we got. He was out for a short period of time with an injury. That's all worked out now, that's fine. Matthew Clark will come back into the team for Richard Nate, who was in the team because of a injury to Matthew Clark as well. We had a fair few injuries during that period of time. Louis Barry is currently our main striker because we have a promise to him, and annoyingly, you have to actually follow through with these sometimes. No other big news, except we were given a £10 million transfer injection by the board. And as you can see, that's been spent on a new left-back called Zlatan Sehovic. Yeah, I don't know why either, but the director of football signed him. He looks good, a 90, currently operating at championship level, with a good Premier League quality in the future. He'll easily be better than Brandon Williams, but at the minute, we don't really need him. So, yeah, we spent a bit of money doing that for no reason. Well, not no reason, but just at the minute for no reason, because he's not going to be of much use until, well, next season, I would assume. Anyway, the game against Tottenham today, I'm not expecting a lot. Go there and enjoy yourself. I'm not expecting a lot. I'm actually going to switch tactics. I've been running a new tactic for big teams, being this cautious, same formation, just cautious mentality, as hopefully it will be better for the team in the long run. I don't know. I'm just going to skip through all this. Mainly because I normally do this once. I normally do it when I'm not recording, but sometimes it comes up in the recording. It's very annoying trying to get through it all. I don't do any other press conferences, mind you, but that is unless a goal's been disallowed for something, and then the replay shows it shouldn't have been disallowed. Then I put the press conferences on so I can have a shout at the journalists for a moment. Anyway, Ben Godfrey now with the ball, plays it forward to Ndombele, now to Lo Celso, now to Jose Vitor, out wide finds Lines, and his shot's blocked, but Lo Celso picks the ball back up again, and it's out to Junior Filippo, and he manages to get past Emre Moore, and the header from the player Francisco Trincao makes it 1-0 to Tottenham. This isn't very good. To put it bluntly, it's not very good. It was a good cross, but Emre Moore should have done a lot better with the tackle. And Thompson should have tackled, to be fair. Should have just stood there and tried to block it. He should have tackled. But after 20 minutes, 1-0 to Tottenham. It could be worse, obviously. There's no question about that. It could be worse. And I mean, we're not doing poorly in terms of possession. In fact, we're actually ahead of possession now. We've got a shot to our name, but they've got 10. So clearly they are the team going forward a lot more effectively. Corner kick with lights and cleared thankfully away by the defender, but only as far as Tottenham again. But another corner kick is given thanks to a Turgeman save, who, yet again, as I mentioned last time, has been playing incredibly well, but just not quite well enough to get man of the match awards. That reminds me, I'm no longer the manager of Cameroon because I was offered the role of a European side called Wales, and I genuinely think Wales are a lot better than Cameroon, just to put it bluntly. Anyway, hopefully there won't be any big problems coming from... Oh, Jesus Christ, Emra. That shot should have been kept very, very low down for that much power put behind it. As I was saying, yes, hopefully Wales actually give me a chance to win something, even if currently they're not doing the best they could be doing. Hopefully they will be doing well under me. Rothwell come out for Kenar. We'll also have Etienne Capoue coming in as a new central midfielder because Ben Thompson has 6.1. That's not acceptable. And I'll also bring off Barry for Alvaro, who's actually been playing quite well as well himself. And hopefully, that'll be a bit of save. Trying to get the fan their money, that didn't work. Oh, thankfully that was players come off, it doesn't really matter. But, yeah, hopefully the 3 substitutes can actually make a difference in this match. I mean, we were losing to Leicester 2-0. And, yeah, made 3 substitutes and we ended up drawing 2-0. So, clearly making substitutes does affect something. Now, Tottenham playing the ball around in our half. Out wide again to Junior Filippo, now to Harry Kane. Lengths, Filippo again. Cross the ball in at the far post, and it's the same person again not being marked. And Francisco Trincao makes it 2-0 to Tottenham, and Tottenham again close in even more on the top of the table. And obviously none of the Millwall fans are currently cheering because we are 2-0 down. And as you can see, Matthew Clark is in completely the wrong place for where he should be defending. You got Brandon Williams trying to go up for the header, and then Matthew Clark just stood there watching as the ball went over his head. Same with Tuanzebe. But what can you do? Tottenham now 12 points behind Liverpool, who are dominating this football season like they were in real life. And Ndombele tackles Doyle, who has been our best player in the entire season so far. But, yeah, just clearly when you're playing against a better team, the game cheats, so your players start playing terribly. Because that's just how football works, apparently. We'll try a bit more creative, try and get at least a goal back. It's very annoying that every time we lose in recent games, we've been losing something nil. In other words, if we don't score, likelihood we're going to lose the match rather than draw it 0-0. So, yeah. Currently 3 shots to 29. Clearly, Tottenham have been the better team, but it's just completely unrealistic. Players like Tommy Doyle, who've been playing well prior, don't just suddenly have a bad game because they're a better team. Be assertive and say that unlucky boys, because mainly you don't want to get their morale too low because they won't ever win again, which is accurate I guess onto real life, but sometimes you have to give them a shout sometimes to get them to buck their ideas up. Right, so the Vitality Stadium that Bournemouth play at, think their capacity is around the same as ours, but I could be wrong. Very annoying. 1-0 win for Exeter. Boston drew with Crewe. Naldino draws. Western-super-Mare win 4-0. That's very impressive. Got some Scottish ones. Wrexham winning 4-1. Konjevich losing 1-0. And Iwakwe is winning 2-1. So Salford remain at the top of the League 2 table. Clear by, I think, 6 points. Oh, 8 points now. But Boston have a game in hand, so likely it will go down to 5 points. But Boston, Salford, I think those two are the two teams that are guaranteed to go up this season. I think the team going down is probably going to be Solihull Moors, because despite the fact they've been stalwarts in the last few seasons, they've progressively been getting worse and worse. And clearly, this season was their tipping point. They didn't have the financial power to be able to hold on to the League 2 position, which is unfortunate for them. But it's fortunate for some of the non-league teams who can now be pulled up into the the fourth tier of English football, and hopefully give them a bit more economic stability they wouldn't have had in the National League. Oh, Nuno Freitas comes back on the 31st. That's good for him, because it means we might get him out on another loan to possibly an American side, or if he comes back and actually has the ability to become work permitted, hopefully we can get him into the squad. Although actually saying that, looking at the dev centre quickly, all loans, right, Nuno Freitas, there we are at the top. Currently without work permit, obviously, that makes sense. He's not really progressing as quickly as I'd hoped. So I think the best option is probably to loan him out to a lower league Portuguese and or Spanish side. Although saying that his contract is up in 2025, we could, in theory, sign a new contract with him this season to get him over that £8,000 a week threshold that he needs to be at. There we go, give him the £8,000 a week. Hopefully that should now be enough that if we were to ask for a work permit, it would be accepted. Obviously no guarantee of that, of course. And I think Brighton just had 3 players sent off against Liverpool. Oh, it's just 2. Either way, 2 players sent off. That's... to only lose 1-0? That's impressive. I mean, we beat Norwich 4-0 and they just beat Leicester 5-2. So clearly, this game is not highly accurate when it comes to working out results. Also, another bit of news. One of our staff members did depart. I can't remember his name now. Oh, for Christ's sake, I can't remember his name. Right, he departed to go and manage Ipswich Town. He was our under-18s manager. So he's now at the Ipswich Town job. And they're looking quite good in their position. Nedum Tutic, there we go, the Bosnian. Yeah, we replaced him with a new under-18s manager, because he got the job as the Ipswich Town manager, which he deserved. He's done very well here. And he's created a very strong under-18 side that's going to be put into under 23s very soon, I'd assume. As you can see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 players joining us on the 1st of January. And on the 2nd, we're losing one, Louis Arroyo, who was signed in my first transfer window, but clearly did not make enough impact to join permanently as a full-time right back. Marlon Romeo in the first season was too much of a player to dislodge, and this season, Cadu is the player that's impossible to dislodge. Hence why both Louis Arroyo and Marlon Romeo won't be here at the end of January, because Romeo will be out on loan, and Arroyo will be in, I think, Korea, where we sold him to, Yeonbuk. I could be wrong. We'll find out on the 2nd of January anyway. Well, I will anyway. You won't, because you won't be watching on the 2nd of January. Dimitris Demostithany, him, I'm never going to be able to pronounce that name, so it's probably best I leave before he becomes a first-team player. Annoyingly, Turtman's still trying to play out of danger, which is kind of annoying. And yes, as I said, I am the current... No, don't want you. I want the Wales job. I am currently the Wales manager. Annoyingly, the top Welsh division is only a 1.5-star reputation. That's not fair. These are all of the information about Wales. Which I didn't actually do. I just realised when I took over at Cameroon. No, well, too late now. Oh, I didn't know Gareth Bale retired. Hang on, is it possible to offer him a job at the Wales as a coach? Yeah, go on. I'll offer him a job as a coach. There's no other jobs I can offer him, I think. Yeah, there's no other possible positions he can have. He wants to be a director of football, which is not the greatest position for him, as he only has a 2-1-2 on his talents for director of football positions, but it's alright. It's Gareth Bale, he can do what he wants. Speaking of which, I didn't realise he was 34 in 2023. I didn't realise he was that old. And he's declined the role, which is unfortunate. Having made 0 appearances for Wales. Hang on, what? Okay. Oh, he was 1 appearance away from making 100 appearances. And apparently he just fell out of favour with the Real Madrid board and their manager in his last season, because he didn't even play once. He was sold on to Zenit St. Petersburg, being worth at £1.85 million, being sold on a free to Zenit. That's gotta hurt. And not because they're Zenit, but because he's been sold for a free, all the way going from Spain to Russia. That's gotta hurt. Oh, I didn't turn it back. That's not good. Hopefully it'll do it automatically when I come back out of the continue screen, but there you go. Hopefully with Bournemouth, despite them being in 5th place in the league, which is surprising on its own, hopefully with Bournemouth we'll be able to defeat them. Didn't do it on its own, so I'll have to do it myself. Right. João Queiroz. No, he's not that good. Harkin Avon. He's good, but he's also extremely expensive, so no. I'm going to be looking at the end of this season for Premier League free transfers. Well, I did in my first season, but because mainly we don't have a lot of money at the club at the minute. I mean, don't get me wrong, we're going to have a lot of money coming out of the season, due to the fact that we're going to be having all of the TV money. Who are you? I don't even know who you are. But apparently you're good. Okay. I'll probably look into him maybe at the start of next season. Not too sure. But no, as I was saying, click the wrong button there. As I was saying, finances wise, we've lost £13.5 million this season so far. But we still have an overall budget of 3.7 million. Because of the TV money coming in, we're managing to make a fair bit on top of the current expenses. Which, when you think about it, is actually quite impressive. Especially for a club like Millwall, who don't have a large fan base to work with. Although, saying that, they have been managing to continue to fill stadiums. But when I asked the board about a possible expansion to the Den, they stated that economically they were unable to do so, which is rather unfortunate. And Admonis now gets 10 to his clean sheet count in the Turkish Super League, with the team currently actually in 2nd place, so that's quite impressive. Only behind Galatasaray, which is also very impressive. Uwakwe's continuing his loan at Salford. The player that I managed to sign in from, I believe, Portsmouth, was it? Oh no. Oh yeah, Portsmouth. Brought him in from Portsmouth. And I mean, he's probably not going to be good enough for a Premier League side. So the likelihood is, after his loan deal at the end of this season, we might sell him on to a Championship side. that are looking for a new centre-back, because we don't have much room for one at the club at the minute. Because at the minute we've got, I think, 5 centre-backs available. Got Simya, Nate, Clark, Tuanzebe, and there is one more. There's one more, but I can't remember his name. Casares. That's Casares as well, who is, although not ever going to get in the first team, he could quite easily become a backup centre-back when required. And as a result, obviously, will be the one on the bench in place of Nate or Simya, if neither of them can actually play there. Of course, in that situation, all 3 of the remaining defenders will have to be incapacitated in some way, be it suspension, injury, or international duties, which is unlikely being in the Premiership. Because unless they're under 18s, or not under 18, under 21 international, all international breaks are taken in the Premiership. So, yeah. Boxing Day preview, we're not even on this, obviously. Nuno Freitas, I mean, I could extend the loan, but he's not really been doing all that much. And I think bringing him back to the club would be better, because when his contract is then fully signed, he should be able to be eligible for a work permit. Anyway, no big news coming out of any important leagues, at least, not that I can see of. And we are playing Bournemouth today in the Vitality Stadium, I think. I could be wrong, because I'm not exactly sure if they're still there. But yeah. Kepa's managed to make the move from Chelsea to PSG. He might have done that in real life, I'm not too sure. Mainly because I don't actually pay attention to much of what Chelsea do, or anything in the Premiership really, except for... No, nothing in the Premiership really. I don't really pay attention to the Premiership. I pay attention to the Championship, League 1, League 2, the National Leagues, and foreign leagues, but not the Premiership. I find it too boring. It's just the same teams winning it over and over and over again, except for one outlier every few years, like Blackburn, like Leicester, that sort of thing. But yeah, I mean, between Leicester and Blackburn winning it, only 5 teams managed to win the Premiership. Arsenal, Man City, Chelsea, Manchester United. 4 teams managed to win it, I believe. I'm actually now going to check the history of the league, because I could have sworn I missed one out. So between Leicester here, and no, only 4 teams managed to win the league. And if you include Leicester, up until modern day, only 5 teams have won the league in 15 years. That is terrible. I mean, look at this, for instance. Between 1981 and 1970-71, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 teams won it in 10 years. And in 15, only 5 teams won it. And of those 5 teams, not 15, 25 actually, I just realised it's not 15 years at all. It's 25 years. It's even worse, in my opinion at least. That's why I like the lower leagues, because they are more unpredictable. Right, Albright can come out of the team again, this time for Glazon. And then... that's annoying. There's no one on the bench for him to go, because we've got a good enough bench as it is. So that'll be fine as it is. Against Bournemouth, we will have the attacking formation, I think. It is the preferred one of mine, at least. So I think that's probably the best option to go with in terms of getting the win, I think. Our team is actually fairly good, in my opinion, for what it should be doing. Hang on a minute. Challenge the team to go out there and prove a point. Go out there and get revenge. I'm much more into revenge. And again, just send the assist. I can't remember to do that anymore. Right, so playing Bournemouth at Dean Court, not the Vitality Stadium. That might be the other name for Vitality Stadium. I'm not too sure. Either way, we're playing there. Ah, well done, keeping that ball on, but unfortunately couldn't do anything with it. Ball's cleared away. Glazen heads it down for Tommy Doyle. It picks it back up again thanks to Doyle's pass. Plays it into the middle for Rothwell, whose shot's blocked, but Emre Moore's shot goes even further away from the goal. That's unfortunate. Brandon Williams, again with another throw, finds Rothwell. Back to Williams. Williams runs it into the middle. Plays it into the middle again for Thompson. Thompson plays it out wide, trying to find Glazen, but Zappacosta gets it instead. Heads it through by Arezzo. Williams picks it up. Now to Nzebe. Back to Williams. Through to Doyle. Up in the middle for Thompson. Thompson to Rothwell. Rothwell runs it past the defender. Shoots and scores. That is a 4th goal of the season for Joe Rothwell. And every one of those goals was deserved. So in fact, it's quite a fun thing. His first game back into the team after an extended period out. Due to, I think, an injury and a suspension. The suspension first, an injury and training. He scored a double. He scored a brace in his first game back, as if to tell me that he shouldn't have been left out of the team at any point. And I think he proved a point there. Oh, thankfully the header from Mepham goes wide, and Turgeman keeps his clean sheet for the first 10 minutes. Oh well, maybe not. For the first 8 minutes. Oh, well done, Rothwell. Clears the ball long, finding Barry. And Barry looks to take the ball forward, but he can't quite outrun the defender. And the defender takes the ball off of him. Zappacosta plays the ball into the middle, finding Mepham. Plays it forward, finding Seferovic, who I actually looked to sign at the start of this season, but he was costing me £30-odd million, so it wasn't going to happen. Haris Seferovic might be good, but he's not good enough to worth £30 million in the first season in the Premiership. Oh, okay. Corner kick, I think. I generally thought he just kicked into the side netting, but apparently not. Good header away. Rothwell keeps the header going. Arezzo picks the ball up on the edge of the box now, into the box, cross the ball in for Zappacosta, then to Seferovic, and Seferovic's shot blocked by Nzebe, who clears the ball out even further, but only as far as to Silva, and the ball is back again with Arezzo, who again crossed the ball in, again for Nzebe to clear, and finally we managed to get the ball away and out of a replay, a highlight I should say, and yet again Emre Moore's picked up a knock. That's really annoying, because he only just came back from an injury, and if he's going to get injured this often, we're going to need a new right mid, because we can't keep playing one who's going to get injured over and over and over again. Kadu now with the ball, plays it back to Thompson. Thompson to Doyle. Doyle through to Rothwell, who was offside. Yeah, he didn't look onside to me. Although saying that, he might have been offside. He might have been onside in terms of visual look. Oh no, he's about a foot offside. So yeah, fair enough. But Rothwell just proving it again that he is the very clinical finisher, even when he's not actually supposed to be there. Oh, I didn't realise Hugo Lloris is currently in goal for Bournemouth. That's a step down. I mean, top of the world with Tottenham. Now you're in the middle tier with Bournemouth. To be fair, him and Seferovic might be the two reasons why Bournemouth are currently in the top 5. Well, they were at one point, or at least in the European competitions. Oh, Rothwell takes the ball very cleanly off of the Bournemouth player, gets it into the box, shoots, but saved by the Frenchman. And currently 42 minutes on the clock, and a corner kick from Millwall. Doyle swings it in, headed by Emre Moore, and it's trickled in. Emre Moore with, I believe, his second goal of the season, I think? I mean, I could be wrong, but I think that's his second goal of the season. Didn't come up with it on the top, I don't think, so it's kind of useless to me. I'm not actually too sure how many goals he scored. One moment, please. I'll be back in a moment. Emre Moore, you have scored. This is your second goal. and it comes off the head of a very, very short player. But after 42 minutes, Bournemouth are behind 2-0. Zappacosta plays the ball back, crossed the ball in at the far post, scored by Rafinha, but it is offside. That's very nice. Turdman, yet again, keeping his clean sheet. Ooh, there, he's quite offside. I couldn't see, obviously, because the camera was messed up, but yeah. Doyle swings the ball in. Headed away by, no idea how to pronounce that name. Rothwell holds the ball up, gets it into the, plays it into Thompson, I should say. Plays the ball up wide to Doyle. Doyle runs it forward, in for Emre Moore, crossed the ball in, and Glazen's header off the crossbar and cleared away. And at half-time, Emre Moore will come off because he's injured, so we can't keep him on. Doyle swings the ball in, headed in by Matthew Clark, and Millwall now lead 3-0 at Dean Court, and Bournemouth are just falling without a trace, as Millwall climb ever closer to that European qualification. Speaking of European qualification, half of our team wants to win a title, win a trophy I should say, this season. We haven't got a hope in hell of winning the Premier League. Everyone knows that. We also haven't got much of a hope winning the FA Cup, the only other competition we're still in, which is a worry when you realise that if we don't win one of those competitions, they might not take it all that well. I'm going to leave Doyle on for now, even though he is currently lacking in a bit of stamina. But I'll leave him on for now. I'll bring off Barry for Balogun. End the team talk, go into the second half, and hopefully we can build on this 3-0 lead. Doyle now with a free kick, swings it in at the far post. Clark's header is blocked, and Seferovic comes away with it. Plays it forward to Lerma. Then Jada Silva now with the ball. Tries to get it past Doyle, but Doyle with a very good tackle. Plays the ball now to Rafinha. Rafinha out to Lerma, and his shot does go in. So unfortunately we can't keep a clean sheet in this match, but it's looking likely we won't lose, because we've only been losing by something nil, as I mentioned last game. All the fans applauding that tackle and then realising about 5 seconds later the ball's in the net. Not great, but what can you do? Hopefully that'll be the only goal Bournemouth score today. With 16,500 people here, that could very well be full capacity for Dean Court. I'm not too sure. Thompson plays the ball back to Kadu, now to Clark. Clark forward to Doyle. Thompson, Rothwell. Rothwell plays it forward to Alvaro. Alvaro plays it into Balogun, who shoots and scores. A thunderous effort into the Bournemouth goal. Very impressive, in my opinion. 4-1 Millwall now lead at Dean Court. I'm going to have to keep skipping these replays now if it keeps doing like this. And I think it is probably best we actually leave Doyle on, not take him off, because I don't think it'll do good for his morale, and it won't do good for the team either. Salisu plays the ball forward to Zappacosta, now to Lewis Cook. Back to Salisu. Out to Zappacosta and back to Cook again. Cook plays the ball forward, finding out Arezzo, and his shot's blocked by Turdman. The Argentine goalkeeper Turdman is proving very, very effective for us. Zappacosta runs it forward, crossed the ball in, Lerma's header into Jeffs, was that? I can't remember. Was that Jeffs? I just saw his name. It just flicked up and went away, and when it got up there, went away again. Jesus Christ, have I got a stutter all of a sudden? Oh, Jelfs. Yeah, that's much better of a name. I don't mean that's a bad name, I'm just saying that it's... I'm going to shut up. What I'm just saying is completely pointless in the first place, it doesn't really matter. Anyway, Williams throws the ball to Rothwell, now to Glazen. Glazen plays it to Doyle. Doyle finds Thompson. Thompson plays it forward to Alvaro. Plays it forward to Balogun, and he just scores because the goalkeeper made a horrendous mistake. And it's now 5-1 to Millwall at Dean Court, thanks to a horrific mistake by the goalkeeper. trying to tackle the ball when he should have picked it up, really. And yes, I will be skipping this replay as well. I mean, look at that. Full greens, except for Barry. Full green across the board. That's impressive, in my opinion. Mepham now with the ball. Plays it forward. Headed away by Thompson, only as far as to Silva, and it's a red card. It's a red card. Of course it is. Okay, I think probably the best thing to do then would be... Yeah, I think that's the best thing to do. We'll bring Alvaro forward to play as a striker. And we'll bring off Gleason, as he's the only attacking midfielder not to have done something. That's also not been off the field at any point. And we'll bring on Keener to play in central midfield. I know we've got Capoue, but Keener's better. So Keener gets chosen. There we go. Done. I mean, we'll praise the team, despite being one man down. We'll praise the team again. Jelfs now with the ball. Cross the ball in, headed away by Williams. Chased by Rothwell, who picks it up. And this goal, it's going to be a goal. I'm sorry, it has to be. And it is Joe Rothwell with another beautiful goal. I believe that's only 2 for him today. But I mean, he deserves a hat-trick. I mean, he had one disallowed, but he deserves a hat-trick. He ran that ball from inside his own half and was outside their box when he shot and scored. All we need now is Domingos Keener to do something to give himself at least a 7.0 so that he gets a green as well. Rothwell now the ball back to Keener. Plays out wide to Balogun. Balogun with the ball. Shoots. Oh, is it the post? And it's on the line. That's annoying. That's also annoying. That should have gone in. That would have been his hat-trick, actually. That would have been Balogun's hat-trick. But currently 6-1 at Bournemouth, and yet none of them are below a 6. Really? If you say so. Joe Rothwell, clearly man of the match. I agree with that. No question. And I think they deserve very good praise. And that's the first win over Bournemouth this Millwall side in this save file has ever had. Which in my opinion is impressive. I'll take that. But, as I said, the next video will be either... Oh, great, 2-match ban. That's annoying. And another draw for Boston, which is again annoying. Only 3 days out is fine. 6 of the best, of course. And again another goal for Jack Kultas, who is turning out to be an incredible player this season for some reason. I mean, he barely played last season. This season he's scoring goals every game at this rate. Yeah, we'll give a bit of praise to Rothwell for his 2 goals. But yes, as I mentioned, the next games on camera will be Bournemouth and Watford, or it'll be Bournemouth and FA Cup 4th round. Depending on when the FA Cup 4th round is. If it's like start of February or something, it'll be Arsenal in that game. Either way, it'll be the FA Cup and the game prior, or Bournemouth-Watford. Okay? That's what we're going to do. Because it's easier for me, I think, to do so. I don't know why you're showing me him. He's not even good enough to be League 2 quality. Him, on the other hand, very, very good. He's a fullback as well at 19. Good left back. Oh dear, we've already signed for £10 million. So that's kind of pointless. Sam Field, not that great. Marcel Ruiz is alright, but for that price, no. And a fine for Ben Thompson, yes, because he deserved the fine for getting sent off. But yes, as I said, next game on camera will be the Watford-Bournemouth game, unless things change. But until the next video, I bid thee adieu, goodbye.